This is the plaintiff, Arnold Stengel. He says he purchased a hunk-of-junk used car from the defendant. It doesn't have a good title. He can't get it registered, and he's here to teach the crook a lesson by suing for the return of his very hard-earned $3,000. This is the defendant, Angel Rodriguez. He says, first and foremost, he told the plaintiff the car had some issues that needed to be fixed. So he did nothing wrong there. Secondly, he signed the title over to him like he was supposed to. And third, he owes the guy nothing. He says the plaintiff's exaggerating the situation because he's got buyer's remorse after spending the money. He's accused of dumping a hunk of junk.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff bought a junker, and it doesn't even have a good title. The defendant says the plaintiff bought it eyes wide open, and he got the title. It's the case of I got junk in the junky trunk.
Thank you, Douglas. Arnold Stengel?
Stengel, yes, ma'am.
Stengel, you are suing Angel Rodriguez for $3,000, $1,300 that you paid for his car, and the rest of it in lost wages, parking fees, and work that you did to the car, plus pain and suffering. Okay, tell me what happened.
On November 10th, this gentleman posted up a Craigslist ad, which I have here with me.
Let me see it.
Yes. I was at work. I called him. I texted him. I told him that I want to go see the car. I got out of work like about 5:30. I went to his block to go see the car. We're there. I'm looking at the car. He told me about a couple of nicks and knacks that was wrong with the car, like the window, the rear view mirror it was hanging off, and that it needed a muffler tip. A tip is just something that goes in the back. So that I was okay with.
Did you test drive the car?
No, he drove the car. I was riding in the passenger side.
Why didn't you test drive the car?
Because he told me he was going to take it around the block. It was his decision.
Did he drive the car or no?
He just took it out the parking, and I guess he didn't feel comfortable driving or anything, so I told him, do you want me to drive? And I took it.
Why didn't he feel comfortable driving? Did he say?
No, I have no idea.
He asked you to switch places with him and take it on the road?
No, he actually wasn't going to test drive at all. And I told him, like, you want me to drive to show you all the gears work and if it drives good and
Why
stuff.
wasn't he going to test drive it at all?
I have no idea.
Yeah?
Because it didn't have a power steering belt. So the steering wheel was kind of, it was hard to maneuver. Yeah, and I didn't know how to do it. So
why would you buy the car?
No, because he told me just needed a belt. And once you replace the belt.
What do you do for a living?
I work at Nissan.
And you're taking the seller's word for what's wrong with the car? Who's that guy next to you?
He's my mechanic. He works at Nissan with me.
Really? You can bring him to court, but you couldn't bring him with you to look at the car?
There was miscommunication there. We work at different hours and different days, so.
Then don't buy that car. Wait until there's a communication. Yeah, that's like bizarre. You're like, I understand when I've got like a little old lady standing there and she has no options, and then, oh, I thought I trusted it. But you work in the industry. You work at a dealership. You have mechanics. Like, all you gotta do is say, yo, and that's it. You got a mechanic, like in your pocket. And you couldn't bring a mechanic. I think it's because you think you know a lot about cars. What do you do at the Nissan place?
I drive for them. I'm not the actual mechanic.
No, I understand, but I think you know more about cars than you do. All that at your disposal, you didn't use it. Probably for free. Probably, would you have done it for free? Would you make them pay free? Free? Yeah. Okay, yeah, because you all work together. I know that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you see the car, you love it, and you buy it. Yes. How much do you pay?
$1,300.
Which is what was in the ad.
Yes.
Okay, and what is the Blue Book value of the car?
I have no idea.
Do you know? Nobody knows. All right, well, that's the kind of thing everybody ought to know when you're buying and selling a car, but especially when you're buying a car. All right, so go on. What happens?
So we go around the block. You know, he revs the engine a little bit. It sounds okay. Nothing too... We end up going back. I give him the money, and then I end up taking the car. So I drive the car home. You know, the steering wheel is kind of messed up. It's still kind of hard. And as I noticed, the brake pedal goes all the way down to the floor. 2 days later, I take a risk. The car was not insured or registered. I take a risk and decided to drive the car to my job, to have one of my mechanics look at it. And as I'm driving over there, I noticed 1,000,001 things wrong with the car already.
Oh, now that you're driving it, you've noticed things wrong with it?
Yeah, before I noticed everything. I texted him at 8:30 that morning, and I told him that what I noticed before my mechanic even looked at it. I texted him what I noticed, and I have the text messages here. I have the pictures I send him. I have everything.
You text him at 8:17 in the morning. Yo, what up? First things, you told me there was nothing major wrong with the car, and there is. Number one, you said the muffler tip was all it needed, and it's not. The whole exhaust is rusted. and almost falling off because of the car shakes when catching up speed. Number 2, the car takes forever to even get to 60 miles per hour. Number 3, you can't tell how fast the car's going because the speed thing is broken. Isn't that the stuff you noticed when you were test driving or letting him test drive the car for you?
I wasn't, no.
Huh?
No, because we were going around, you know, city.
But you could have.
Yeah, but I didn't know the mechanics of the.
Yeah, but you could have, right?
I could have, but.
Yeah. Did you want to call your mechanic as a witness?
Yes, that's why he's here.
Keep it brief.
So the guy didn't even test drive the car. Is he on the hook?
He definitely is. He should have asked to test drive the car before he bought it.
$1,300. Is there any recourse for this person?
Yes.
I would go with no. Try no.
No.
Good. Going inside the courtroom.
Come on up. What's your name?
Eric Jimenez.
Go ahead.
Well, basically, Arnold brought me his car on the 13th. I checked it out, and from the moment I got in it, I can tell the car barely had any brakes. Steering wheel was hard, obviously, because of the power steering. None of the dashboard was working, and he just wanted me to check everything out.
And what's wrong with it?
Okay, I found most of the wires cut underneath the dashboard. Most of the wires weren't working, needed to be repaired. The brakes.
What do you mean by cut? Why would anybody cut it?
To install aftermarket systems or alarms or radios or something, get to the fuses.
All right, go on.
Basically, I checked over the car, safety issues for inspection. I'm a New York State inspector. I checked the rotors. They were completely warped. The backside of the rotors were rusted. The distributor cap was leaking. Both struts were blown over bumps and it was lost control.
What year car was this?
92.
92, did you say?
Yeah.
92?
92 Honda Civic.
I have humans who are younger than the car that I made, and they're in college. Wow. There's all these texts back and forth where he's telling you everything that's wrong with it. He's saying, I'm not keeping this, blah, blah, blah. What's N-I-K-K-U-H? Is that like...
It's like, I don't like to use the word, the actual word.
You don't like to use the N-word? You just want me to think it and feel guilty?
No. You're supposed to say it the same way, but I just don't like spelling it, so I say it my way.
So you put N-I-K-K-U-H, and you too, you're talking back and forth, and then you've adopted that. Apparently you like the KK also, and you stick it in there. What?
It's just my way of spelling it. That's all it is.
What's your response to all this?
Well, on the phone before he even came to my house to see it, he asked me the problems. I told him the front axles was a little messed up. The window didn't go down.
He claims there's a bunch more than what you said.
Yeah, well, I
did you know that or didn't you?
No, I explained to him what I knew what was wrong. I have a street mechanic. I always take it to him. He told me what was wrong. I told him what I knew.
Who is the gentleman with you?
That's my stepfather.
Okay, and is he the one who spoke to him at one point?
Yeah, on the phone.
Come on up, stepfather. At one point, you talk to him and you tell him, well, I've got a mechanic. You can bring it to that mechanic and let's work this out.
Actually, it wasn't even like that. I got on the phone because of the nonsense that was being said back and forth. So I had to let him know, you're doing business. You should have, first of all, I was there. He asked you several times to test drive the vehicle. He asked you several times to inspect the vehicle. You insisted on not doing either. Y'all went around the block a few times and you took the car and you left.
Okay, but why did he find you easier to deal with? Because at some point, did you tell him that you'd take it to your mechanic, trying to smooth things over or whatever?
He actually works at Nissan.
At the place where he works?
Yes.
Oh.
He's seen me there plenty of times.
Okay, I have a couple problems with you, and then we'll discuss the real issue in a moment,
yes.
Okay? The problem is, you're out of your mind. When you buy a used car that's,
22 years old.
22?
Yeah, my daughter's
the car can drink, okay? The burden is on you. It's buyer beware. It's as is. That is how this stuff works. So you've got to take it to a mechanic or bring a mechanic with you, which apparently you have 17 of them in your pocket and you can just do it and it's super easy. And no, you don't get your money back based on the fact that there's a bunch of problems with the car. That's on you. You fix them. Now, we do have an issue. And the issue that we do have is the title. And talk to me about the title.
I went, after a while, I decided I was going to keep the car, I was going to work on it. Like I said, I have a bunch of mechanics.
So did you work on it?
No, I didn't. I installed the power steering belt, which I told you made the steering wheel a little bit smoother. So I take it to the DMV, I have all my paperwork, and as I'm getting ready to hand it to the teller, she told me the title is a no-go.
Can I see the title?
Yes, I have it with me.
What, did she say why?
Yes.
What did she say?
She told me that the title is not under his name, so he technically sold me a car that wasn't even his.
Well, that's not true. But he sold you a car that you can't, you're gonna have trouble titling. You jumped title. Right?
Yeah, I never got it registered under my name.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you're cheap and you don't feel like spending the money or going through the trouble. But there's a problem with that. If you don't do that, you technically he can't. You know, the person signed it, but they signed it to you.
Yeah.
And then you don't have the authority to sign it to him unless you registered the car in your name.
Yeah.
So that's an issue because, you know, all this other stuff, he's just a baby. Okay? That's on him. But if you can't title the car, it's not a car. If you can't drive it, it's not a car. Then that part is on you. So you have spent some money on it. You've had it for this time.
Yes.
I'm going to give you two choices. I make a ruling and you return the car. It's not going to be what you're asking for. I can tell you that right now. You don't get pain and suffering because you suffered. Then every $100 case turns into a $10,000 case because you suffered a lot. That's not how life works. It's a contracts case. Or you could have him fix this, which means you're going to go to the DMV, you're going to stand in line, you're going to title it in your name, and then you're going to do another transfer so that you can title the car. Do you like the car otherwise? Like, do you want to keep the car?
I don't want the car.
Right, but you're not going to get $3,000.
Okay, I just want the money that I paid him.
Oh, okay.
The
well,
$1,300.
then we have no problem because the other option I was giving you was to make him fix the title for you.
No.
Okay,
no.
that's fine. All right, so you paid $1,300 for the car, correct?
Yes.
And you paid $14 for a power steering belt?
Yes, I have the receipt with me. If you.
No lost wages. Too much. No pain and suffering. Why $100 in parking fees?
Because the car's not registered and it doesn't have, and I can't keep it where I live. Because they
Show
give
me
the car
proof of
tickets.
$100 in parking fees.
I have the pictures of where the car is actually parked.
No, I don't care because you should. The fact that he gives you a car that you can't title is on him. So that would be a legitimate damage.
Okay.
But you have to show me proof. You don't have proof here today?
No, I don't.
Okay, that's how. Show me proof of the $230 in diagnostic tests. You work there. You're not paying this guy. You're not paying Nissan, are you?
Well, he is the proof. He was the one that did it.
He's not the proof. I would think that if they don't do this for you as a courtesy, they're kind of jerks.
They didn't write a repair order for him? So
If they didn't write a repair order for him, why would I believe that they charged him?
you don't have any reason to.
Exactly. So that's not happening. Do you have proof of the oil change?
He was the one that performed all the labor.
Do you have proof that it cost you $29.95 for the oil change?
That's how much an oil change costs anywhere you go, and he was the one that did it.
Do you have proof that you paid him to do it?
No, because I paid him in cash.
Did he pay you $30 for the oil change?
He paid $30 for the oil and filter.
Oil. He didn't pay you for labor, right?
No.
All right. And the power steering belt?
Yes, I
He
installed
paid for
that.
the part.
He paid for the part, and I installed that.
Okay. All righty. I am going to order the defendant to refund the following: the $1,300 that you paid for it, the things you have proof of, the $1,300 that you paid for it, the $14 for the belt, and the $30 for the oil, to the tune of $1,344. You are going to return the car. You're going to get that money upon the return of the car.
Okay.
Okay, and we'll make arrangements for the return of the car with Officer McIntosh in a moment. Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
Both sides, hold on right there, please.
Well, here he is. He just bought himself a car. Come on in. Step next to me right over here. What are you going to do with this car here now? It's yours again.
Take it to fix it, give it to my daughter.
You're gonna keep this thing?
Yeah, the car is actually, it's a good car. So everything that the young man was talking about was, it was exaggerated. Okay, he uses the car for work daily.
Yeah. How far do you have to drive to work?
I work for delivery.
You drive around and
Yeah.
1992 car. Come on.
Oh,
I mean,
my
right?
daughter's age.
Right. This thing is. How much life does this thing have left? It's gonna. Aren't you worried when they drive this thing?
I really don't drive as my son's car.
You wouldn't drive it.
I don't drive.
You wouldn't drive that thing. All right, head right down this way. Good luck with your new car.
Yeah, have a good day.
Your new 1992. Okay, come on in here. You satisfied how this comes out?
Yes, sir. Very. Just wanted my money back.
Boy, you went into this one like a dummy.
Oh yes.
The way you did.
I should have taken one of my mechanics with me, but
Of course.
it was a quick call of judgment. You know, I just happened to go.
Right. So you have a mechanic examine the car before you ever buy a used car.
Lesson learned.
Okay.
Lesson.
Harvey?
Kurt, I got to tell you, think through the evidence before you go to court. If you don't bring the right paperwork that is essential, you look shady.